Hey there, Writer Rebels. Join me today while I talk about the 5 best investments I have made in my self-publishing business. Hello everyone, it's me, Scarlett Kol, young adult author of fairy tale fantasy, paranormal, and dystopian fiction. I'm also a YouTuber and a storyteller, and I am excited today to talk to you about my self-publishing business. So I do have some books that are published through small presses, but I have recently, in the last couple of years, put together some self-published novels that I do have on the market. So I have done everything from creating, working with editors, doing all of that stuff that you would see at a publishing house, and I have learned a lot of things along the way. However, today we are going to talk about the 5 biggest investments that I have made in my business that have made the most difference for me. I'm not talking about editors or covers or anything like that. Those are huge investments and can be very, very pricey. However, I kind of see them as part of creating that product. So as much as it is an investment into my business, it is an investment into that particular book and that particular product that I'm working on at the time. So the things that I'm going to be talking about today are a little bit more all-encompassing. These are things that I can use on every project and in various different facets of my self-publishing career. So as you will see, some of these are inexpensive, some of these are a little bit more expensive, but these are the ones that have been the biggest game changers for me in self-publishing and continue to make my self-publishing career better every time I get to use them. All right, so here we go. All right, but before we get started, I am going to let you know that if you do like this video at any point, make sure you're hitting that thumbs up to tell YouTube that this is something worth watching. And while you're down there, make sure to hit the subscription bar and the notification bell so they will let you know every time I put in a new video. I definitely talk about writing and publishing on Thursdays, as well as some extra videos along the way about my author career. So if you are interested in catching up with me, make sure you're hitting those buttons and you won't miss a thing. So the first thing that I have put money into, which I would do again and again and again, is a product called Vellum. Some people have heard of this, some people haven't. Vellum is a piece of software that will format your books for you. And essentially it does an amazing, amazing job. There are so many fantastic things about Vellum that I just will rave about it forever. There are 2 versions of Vellum. There is an ebook only and there's an ebook and print. I have the ebook and print version. I believe it was about $350 when I bought it. So it is a little bit pricier, plus it only works on a Mac. For me, this was not a big deal because I already have a MacBook. So for me, it was just paying for that software. If you do not have a Mac, there are some options, I believe some Mac in cloud things that you can Google to take a look at using that. But Vellum totally changed the game for me. Why is it so fantastic? Well, basically you can take a Word document, you upload the Word document, it will create your digital table of contents for your entire book that you're going to need for your ebook. It's immediately going to deal with orphans and dealing with all of those extra little formatting things. If you don't know what orphans and stuff are, it's not going to be like one word on an entire page. It's going to change the spacing on your page so that things fit in properly. It's going to format all of your margins immediately. You can set certain templates. Say you want drop caps and you want them in a particular kind of flourishy font. Well, it's immediately going to take that first chapter and give you drop caps for all of them. It's going to formalize the formatting all the way through the book so that it's completely standardized. You can change things how you want them. There are a limitation on some things, such as the drop caps and the fonts and things that you're using in there, but a lot of the standards there, I think that there's definitely enough choice for most people. There's also some areas for customization that they do have options for. So if you do want cute little chapter titles, you can create those in another program somewhere and bring them in. They definitely do have a good repertoire of stuff that you can already use that's already like out of the box, so you don't actually have to go anywhere to create any sort of formatting or ornamentals or anything like that. But if you do want to add a little bit more flair to your book, you can definitely do that. For instance, when I formatted the book The Keeper of Shadows, they have some really nice layout for your copyright pages, everything, and they do that very quickly. I was able to add my chapter header in here because I do have dual POV, so I have different characters, so I can put the character name in here. Plus, then when I'm switching chapters, I have it in a different font, which was nice. It was a nice touch that I really liked. I could have a nice title page that's matching the front here. I just had to get the PNG from my cover artist to do that. If you're your own cover artist, then that's nice and simple. And then I also did the ornamentals as well with the little heart kind of tribal tattoo look as well. So hopefully you can see that. And those were really, really easy to do. They're automatically, as soon as you upload that ornamental, it's going to put it for every single chapter break that you have. It's going to standardize the top so it has everything in there. It's going to make sure that everything is formatted nicely. Especially in this book, it was really easy for me to format text messaging because I do have a lot of text messaging because obviously these are teenagers. So to do the text messaging in the bottom was very, very simple for me to just create those little blocks of text. The other nice thing about this is you can do all of your ebooks at the same time. If you have any links that you're putting in the back of your ebook, it's very particular that if you have an Amazon ebook, you can't put Apple links at the back of your Amazon ebook. And if you are interested in links and how to use links, I'm actually going to do a video next week on how to use links better and to maximize your author career by using different book links. But I'll talk about that next week. Anyways, if you have those links in the back, it will actually give you an option of putting all of your retailer links in there. And then when it exports your copy for Amazon or Apple, it's only going to include the links for that particular retailer. And you only have to put them in once, which is fantastic. They've also added a new feature where if you have anything at the end of your ebook, because a lot of ebooks, as soon as they get to the end, you'll want to put something immediately like, hey, want to read the next book, or hey, want to sign up for my newsletter. These are things you don't want to have in your print book. So if you can put it in there, you can actually set that as ebook only. So when it exports as print and ebook, it's not going to be included in your print books, but it is going to be included in your ebooks, and you don't have to have two separate files. They've also now upgraded that you can do full page title pages. So if you are working with maps or have something a little bit more extravagant that you want to do for your title page, that is definitely an option because they have now allowed you to do that. They don't have the capability to do the graphics and everything within that particular program, but they are giving you the capability to bring that stuff in if that's something you're good at. However, even the standard stuff is just great for you to be able to use, and you can easily put that stuff together. It has paid for itself so many times over. You can also use it to create, let's say, sample chapters of the beginning of your book that you can export in ebook format with your cover on there so that you can give it out to people to give them a teaser for your book. So you can definitely be using it for that. I know a lot of people who will put their books together to give them to ARC readers or beta readers so that they can read them on their Kindles as opposed to getting just a PDF or something like that. This can really, really help. And if you're not fussing with the formatting too much, it actually can take you less than 5 minutes to format an entire book. Granted, I still suggest going through and looking at all of the things that are in there to make sure that everything is exactly how you want it. But if you're just giving it to a beta reader that you know really well and you're not overly concerned about it, you can format a book in less than 5 minutes. And it doesn't matter how long that book is because it's all going to be standard formatting all the way through. It is definitely worth it. And if you ever have a chance to use it or you have the opportunity to pick it up, it will pay for itself several times over if you are doing more than one book. If you haven't had a chance to use it, there is a free trial, I believe. However, you just can't export your book. You can play with it, but you can't actually download anything to use unless you pay for the full product. But if you want to try it out, just to check it out, it's really, really great. There's definitely videos out there that can help you with Vellum. If you'd like to see one, leave that in the comments below and I can give you all of my tips and tricks for Vellum, but there's still so much more that I can learn and utilize in this program that I haven't yet. So this is definitely the number one thing that I would pay for again and again and again because it has helped me out so much and I've used it so many times as well. The second best investment I made for my business is Pro Writing Aid. I know some people prefer to use Grammarly, but I really like Pro Writing Aid. And the nice thing about Pro Writing Aid that I like is that you can actually buy it a lifetime subscription as opposed to a month by month. And there are coupons that come out periodically. So for me, I paid I had a 50% off coupon, so I only paid 50% for the lifetime subscription for Pro Writing Aid. So why do I think Pro Writing Aid is one of those key things to have? Well, first off, Microsoft Word and some of those basic word processing programs do not have the same level of being able to understand your language that something like a Pro Writing Aid or Grammarly is going to do, because they are not built that way. They're built to, clean up spelling mistakes and make sure you don't make a total fool out of yourself. But Pro Writing Aid is just that one step higher in terms of understanding language and giving you suggestions. It's going to pick up on stylistic things as opposed to just grammar and spelling. So that is really, really useful. It's not foolproof because it is, a computer. So it is going to sometimes give you suggestions that don't necessarily make sense, or sometimes it will give you a suggestion that it's like, hey, we think a comma should go here, but you should really check that out. So in the end, it does require some professional judgment, but it is going to clean up a lot of things in your prose. I also find it's really good at picking up missing words as well. Like there's some sentences in Word that they're not going to notice if I've missed an A or an or something like that. However, Pro Writing Aid does tend to pick those things up a whole lot better, which is really, really great. The other thing that I have problems with is I do flip between programs very quickly when I'm writing. Sometimes I'm writing in Google Docs and then it goes to Scrivener and then it comes out in Word. And oftentimes I will have a mismatch between straight and curly quotes. So straight quotes are just basically the two little slashes, and curly quotes are the little full quotes that you would normally see in a lot of books. Not every book is the same. Some people prefer to use straight quotes, but the standard is usually curly. So Pro Writing Aid will actually change all straight quotes to curly quotes, or the opposite, change all curly quotes to straight quotes. And it usually does pick up in its scans when you have a mismatch. So you have a curly quote in one place and a straight quote at the beginning. So that can automatically change your document. It does sync with Scrivener, which is a program that I use, so I can actually use it in its pieces in Scrivener, which I absolutely love. And there are so many other things you can do with it. It also tracks echoes, which are basically if you're using the same word too many times in succession. So this is something that's sometimes hard to catch when you're reading through it, but it's going to highlight those things for you. And then you can make the decision as to whether or not you want to eliminate some of them, or if it's for dramatic effect, or if that's something that you want to do. It has definitely helped out a lot. And every time I've used Pro Writing Aid before giving my work to an editor, I have tended to get way less edits on my work. Also, hopefully, I've been working with some different editors, so it's hard to tell, but hopefully it's going to be easier for them. They're going to want to work with me a little bit more, and they might be able to move through my manuscript a little bit faster as well, because there isn't as many things as they need to fix. You also don't need to use it with Scrivener. You can use it as an app just on your computer. I use it for a lot of different things as well. I will also use it for my blurbs. Sometimes I will use it for work, like day job work things. If I'm really not sure of how I want to do that, I will use it for blog posts, just to make sure that when I'm putting things up on the internet that's going to be there, that it is being proofed and looked over. And it has definitely helped 100%. For this, I think I paid probably about $170 Canadian for this, so it would be a little bit cheaper in the States with my coupon. So for that value, I think it is definitely worth it. If it isn't the program that you like I said, there is Grammarly, I believe there's Hemingway as well, and there's a lot of different ones that are going to do the same thing. Find one that works for you and that you really enjoy and go with that one. But Pro Writing Aid, I personally, for the things that I have issues with, I find it to be superior to the other programs. Number 3, and that is a portable and wireless keyboard. This can be actually relatively cost effective because they're usually not too expensive. I have this one that you can attach to an iPad. It's actually a magnetic and it could really fit in your purse. It does have a full keyboard, even though it is quite small. I'm not quite sure how much this one cost. It was a Logitech, so it was a gift and I didn't actually pay for it myself. However, I also recently got this one from Logitech, and I believe this was $50 US, and then on Boxing Day I actually saw it for $35 US on Amazon. So this one is actually a full keyboard, and it's actually got a really good heft to it. So if you prefer to have almost like a desktop keyboard, this is a really great one. However, it also still fits in like my bigger purses. This little slot right here allows you to put in an iPad or your phone or something like that. So if you are writing on your phone, you could definitely do that. You could just slide it in. It's not going to work very well with my case on it, but it does work, and you can just write away. A lot of people out there have those Evernotes or Travelers that you can only see a couple of lines at a time. Well, I will put Google Docs up on my phone and I can type on my keyboard and I can only see a few lines at a time. So instead of spending over $100 for any of those free writes, I can just use my phone and the Logitech keyboard, which is a full-size keyboard, and I can just write away. The reason this makes a big difference for me is I'm quite busy. I have two boys that are both in hockey. One of them was in dance for a while, baseball, all those sorts of things. So I spend a lot of my time waiting for my children. I am, sitting at the arena. I'm waiting on hockey practices. I'm waiting in my car for somebody to show up or pick somebody up, drop somebody off, all that kind of stuff. So having this keyboard, which is relatively lightweight, this one obviously is like nothing. You could pretty much toss it anywhere and it's super easy to use. This one is obviously a little bit bigger, but I do like the fact that it feels more like a real keyboard. And you can actually use it with your computer as well. So there are different options where you can program it to different devices. You can program it to up to 3 different devices that you're using, and you can just type away. So it's really easy to use in a car. It's really easy to use in the arena, and you aren't lugging around a full laptop. That was one of my biggest problems, is I was carrying my MacBook around and it was getting beat up because I was constantly throwing it in a car and then bringing it in the rink and all that sort of stuff. And even though I take care of my things, it just wasn't holding up to my type of schedule. So these sorts of things are really, really simple for me to get words in whenever I need to. And I can use it right into Google Docs on my phone, so that way I can pick that up off my laptop or my desktop and then either put it in Scrivener or put it in Word or even leave it in Google Docs. So I can technically edit on there if I want to. The screens are usually really small when I'm doing it with my phone, so I usually don't. I usually only use it for drafting, but if I used an iPad or something like that, or if I was really desperate, I could technically edit on my phone if I needed to, and it is totally, totally worth it. For the price point, it has made a huge difference because it allows me to be a little bit more portable with my writing. One of the things I could add in here is dictation software as well. I do like to dictate, and that has given me a lot of freedom as well, but I know there's a lot of people who aren't keen on dictation, so I haven't included that as a separate category, but I guess I could lump it in here as basically mobile tools that I can use to allow myself to write when I'm outside of my office, when I'm running around, when I'm doing those sorts of things. So for this, all I need is my phone, which is coming with me anyway, and then my computer, which I can throw into a medium-sized purse or bag, and I have a full keyboard ready to go whenever I'm ready. So that has helped me get words down when I'm busy like nothing else, because I've tried typing on my phone, but I find that really, really difficult. And I also find that it kind of hurts my wrist sometimes. So using the keyboard is a little bit more ergonomic for me, and it doesn't take up a lot of space. I can put it right on my lap, and it's super easy to use. The fourth biggest investment I've made in my self-publishing business is graphics software. There is a huge variant of things that you can use here. Some people already have Photoshop and they're super comfortable with it, and that's great. Some people prefer to have things like BookBrush. I had a video on BookBrush a while ago, and I really like it because it's very, very easy to bring up teasers. I can probably make a teaser in less than 15 minutes, maybe 5-10 minutes, just because of the access that's there. Obviously, something like that is going to have a subscription cost to it, so I'm going to be paying for that every year to have that time and convenience. If you are better with another program, you might pay for more of it up front, like a Photoshop, where you can pay up front and then you're going to have that for a long term or for life, and but it might cost you more up front to do that. So it really depends on what your graphics prowess is, but having something to be able to manipulate graphics is going to be a huge investment for you. Why is this going to make a difference? Well, first off, I use it for so many different things. I use it for my thumbnails for my YouTube. I use it for my social media posts. So if I have anything for social media that I have to put up related to my books, if I want to alter some pictures that I have, if I want to put quotes up, something like that, anything that I want to have branded for my business, because obviously I do have an author brand that I've created, I can use graphic software to create that sort of stuff. If I want to make banners for a new book coming out for my Facebook, my Twitter, anything like that, I can do that. If I need to have a book where I want to have really cute chapter headings and I'm using Vellum, having a graphic software allows me to create those and download them easily so I can put them into my books. I can create title pages. I can do all of that sort of stuff. There are so many different areas where you are going to be using graphics as an author. So finding one that you like, that works for you, and that is within your budget is one of the best things I can suggest. This one, however, can also cost you nothing. There are a lot of really great free programs out there, or free versions of programs. For instance, I've been using Canva for a really long time, but there are definitely different levels to Canva, so it will lock you out of certain things. However, it has served its purpose for me at the free level for a really, really long time. For me, I have now switched to PicMonkey, and I'm paying for that service, but it is a lot faster for me, and it's got some of the features that I want to make things a lot simpler. I might be able to find a workaround in a free version of Canva, but I'm basically paying for saving the amount of time that it takes to make my graphics, and I'm putting that in as an investment for me of saving that amount of time. If that's not something you want to do, or you would like to save the cash, there are so many free options out there, but finding a graphics program that works for you, that is going to be able to work with your branding and be able to house those graphics that you could use them again and again, especially in terms of social media, is going to be huge for you. So spend your time, do your research, and find one that works. And if you are pressed for time, or you do have the capability to do so, you can definitely pay for some of those programs like BookBrush or PicMonkey or a better graphics software to do things faster, quicker, and better than you've been able to do them before. For me, I'm totally fine paying to a certain value because I know it's going to make my life easier, and that's what I choose to do. So this has definitely been one of the best investments for my business. And even if you aren't investing actual cash, invest your time to find one that works. And the fifth thing that I've done to invest for my business is courses. So I was really not sure if I wanted to include this on the list or not, just because this is a very contentious kind of issue. There are a lot of self-publishing courses out there. There's a lot of ads courses out there. There's a lot of things that people are offering to teach you about self-publishing. It is a huge, huge market for courses. However, it can also be a huge step forward for you as an author, as a self-publisher, as a business, to learn the things you don't know. So I am going to caveat this with, be very cautious to any courses that you sign up for. Make sure you have somebody as a reference. Make sure you can check with somebody that's taken this course already and find out that it makes sense for you. There's two reasons for this. One, some people are teaching things that really are basic knowledge, or that somebody could Google themselves, but they're asking thousands of dollars for you to be able to get that information. So yes, it does keep everything in one nice, convenient place for you, but they might really be ripping you off. Secondly, you also need to know where you are in your career. If you are an advanced self-publisher, some of these courses are going to be way below the level that you need, and you're going to be wasting your money. Or you could be a beginning author and you're signing up for a course that's way over your head, and you aren't even going to use half this information anytime soon. So maybe you want to level up to that a little bit later. It also making sure, does it make sense? If you're taking an ads course, is this making sense for your business? Do you want to be in that particular type of ad space? And if you do, are the people teaching the course doing well with those ads? Do they have credible references? Are people who are taking this course doing well with that? So you do want to take a look at testimonials. Testimonials can be a little bit skewed as well, because they are actually going to be, picked up from the person creating the course. So sometimes if you are really unsure, you can obviously ask somebody who's taken it before, or see if you can ask the course organizer if there's somebody that you can talk to. Make sure that this is the correct fit for you, because courses can get very, very expensive. However, if you get the right course, it can make a huge difference in your career. For example, some really great courses that I'm aware of is Becca Syme. She does the Quitcast over here on YouTube, and she's famous for the Dear Author, You Need to Quit book series. I know a lot of people who have taken her courses. I haven't personally. I've taken some of her free seminar stuff, but I would like to delve into that a little bit more. And there are people who are really learning great things from her. So you can look into things like that. Or there are certain ads courses that are out there that are really, really great. Because if ads work for you and you end up in a course where you can level up your ads, you can increase your sales like exponentially if you are doing it correctly and you have, the expertise, the knowledge, and obviously the dollars to put behind that sort of strategy. One of the other courses that I took, and I am going to mention this, that is opening for registration. I believe it starts on February 8th. I am an affiliate for this course, so I am going to leave the link in the description box below, is the Publish and Thrive course that's offered by Sarah Cannon over in the Heart Breathings YouTube channel. I took this course, I believe, 2 years ago, and it is super, super beneficial. It was really great in terms of strategy and figuring out who you want to be as an author, as an indie author, as a self-publisher. It also breaks down even just the nitty-gritty. There's a lot of videos in there of like how to upload your books that I will re-watch now, even though I know how to do it, just to make sure that I'm maximizing things the best that I can. I also really like Sarah Cannon's delivery because they're all video based, so I get to watch it and listen to it kind of in that YouTube style, which I really like. And she is just super duper positive and has a really great attitude, so it's really easy to watch her because she's very, very engaging. Plus you have lifetime access to this course, so you can always go back to those videos, and if anything gets refreshed or changed, you can obviously get the updates from that. So I wholeheartedly would endorse the Publish and Thrive course because it is super, super beneficial in terms of learning how to self-publish, learning how you want to create your business, and learning how to become what you want to do and get out of this career what you want to get out of it. For some people who've been doing this for a really long time and are super advanced, I would say this is probably a little bit beneath what they need. However, I still, even though I did know how to upload things and some of those really basic things that she did go over, there were a lot of things that I either didn't know, didn't understand why it was important, and definitely got value out of it. So if you are ever interested in taking this course, you can definitely email me with your questions and I can answer them for you and let you know if this is something that's definitely worth it for you, or if you're just not ready for it yet, or if it's just like you are way beyond that. So if that's something you're interested in, definitely let me know. But the reason I'm bringing it up is this is one of those courses that I took and I really found value in it. I learned a lot about self-publishing that I didn't already know. I had done a lot of research. I'd read all the blogs. I was constantly like trying to eat information on how to self-publish and how to make things better. And there were a lot of things that I didn't know. She definitely has the experience to be able to talk to a lot of these things that you don't read out of articles, you find from experience, and she definitely has that experience that she was able to teach me how to do things better. So I'm currently in the process of changing some of my author strategy, and it's just going to be taking a little bit of time, but I do have her and her course to thank for that, and hopefully it's going to work out for the best. So if this is a course that you are interested in, definitely let me know. But there are other courses by other people out there that are offered that are super, super beneficial. So make sure you're checking your references, make sure that the price point makes sense to you, and make sure that it is something that is within the level that you want before you start taking any sort of courses. So if you take a course that is beneficial for you, it can totally level you up. But if you take the wrong course, it can be just a total money and time suck that is not worth it for you. I have taken some courses that just were not worth the money. They were not worth my time. Some of them I didn't even complete because, it was just basic information, or some of the information was just straight up wrong. And I didn't learn anything from that. So you do need to be very, very careful. There are a lot of people out there who will take advantage of you because you are trying to learn and you are trying to get out there. And it is a very, do it yourself kind of market. So there are people that will prey on that, but there are some really, really great courses that can level you up a lot faster than learning the stuff on your own. So investing in courses has been great for me. However, you do need to be cautious when you do that. All right, so those are the 5 things that I have invested for in my business that I think have made the biggest difference in self-publishing for me so far. So if you are a self-publisher and you have some things that have made the biggest difference for you in your self-publishing career, please include them in the comments below. And if you ever have a question or if you ever have a video that you would like to learn more about something, make sure that you are also leaving that in the comments, and I will be glad to put that in my schedule if it's something I'm comfortable talking about. If you liked this video, make sure you're giving it a thumbs up, and while you're down there, make sure to hit the subscription bar and the notification bell so you don't miss anything that comes out of my channel. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys all next week.